Oh, this? Just ignore this. It's unimportant. Hello! I have been literally doing everything under the sun except for starting this video because I'm super nervous. Today I'm going to be starting and reading Children of Virtue and Vengeance. Yeehaw. Read Children of Blood and Bone. I did a whole entire spoilery review at the end of that book to talk to you all about it. This time I decided I'm going to be doing a reading vlog for this book. So I'm gonna take you along on my experience of reading it. I know that like every person and their mother has read this book already, but like I haven't, and I'm buddy reading it with a friend. I'm super nervous because everyone online seems to hate this book. I am going to be tabbing it based on my system that I used in the last book because I think I really enjoy that, although my colors are going to be switched up for this one. Basically what that system means is I'm going to have 3 colors going on. I know this is 5, but I'm 5? I know this is 6, but I'm going to be having 3 when I'm actually tabbing in the book. So I'm going to be using this kind of teal blue color as a love. I'm going to be using the purple right above it as a important moment, and then I'm either going to be using green or yellow as a hate, kind of depending on how I'm feeling in the moment when I get into it. So I've officially read 50 pages of Children of Virtue and Vengeance, and I have a few small things to say. First off, I still have no clue what this plot is going to be about. I mean, a few things have happened. Specifically, Zelly and her brother are mourning their father who is dead, and Amari is dealing with the grief of killing her own father and losing her brother. And then on top of that, Amari's mother is all of a sudden trying to make a claim for the throne, just like Amari is. I don't know what the plot is going to be. Like, what are they going to do the rest of the book? I mean, there's 350 more pages to go. What are they going to do? Beyond that, though, I'm really enjoying it. I don't know what to say. I think I'm enjoying it a little bit more than the first one, to be honest. There's just this fastness to it that the first one kind of lacked, and I'm feeling it. Like, she didn't spend a lot of time delving into what happened in the last book. She kind of just like got into the story and had a lot of people dealing with grief. There have been some really good one-liners in this book so far. I know you can't see it quite yet, but I have tabbed multiple things as being loved in this book. I guess all that's left is for me to continue reading and figure out what the plot is. Hello. So I thought I would do a little check-in with you guys because it's been 24 hours since I told you how this book was going. So I am officially on page 260 of COVAV. I'm still really enjoying myself. I'm still not totally sure what the plot is going to be with this book. I know that there is a war that we are preparing for between basically the non-magic wielders slash the people who received magic after the return of magic and the people who have had magic all along. So they refer to them as magi, whereas the people who just gained magic are called titans. So I know that there's going to be a war between the two of them, and I know where our main characters fall on which side of that battle, but I don't know how the war is going to kick off or where we're going to be doing the fighting or what's going to really bring the war to its peak. I'm just not sure about that stuff. But like I said, I am still really enjoying myself even with all of that. I'm buddy reading this with a friend, if I haven't mentioned that already, and she finished last night. So my goal is to finish today. And she told me that the ending really had her not enjoying the book as much. And she thinks that that's the reason why a lot of people have rated the book poorly online. But I think that there were a lot of really important themes and stuff that was talked about, and I'm really starting to love Amari where I'm at. I've been told that apparently that opinion might change, so we'll see. This is kind of what the side of my book looks like right now. It looks like there's a lot of green, but there really isn't as much as it looks like. I would say that there is mostly the teal color, which is my love category. That kind of makes me happy. I'm gonna sit down and do some more reading, and I guess I'll talk to you guys if anything big comes up, and if not, I'll see you at the end of the book. Time for a check-in, I guess. I'm at page 325, which means I have 75 pages left, and I'm a little bit not enjoying it as much anymore. I feel like a lot of the character choices are kind of coming out of left field here. Anand's cousin, Ojabi, what's his name? Ajori, I think is his name. All of a sudden, it is Ajori. All of a sudden is just kind of angry. Rowan is also just kind of angry. I'm not totally sure where all this anger came from. Amari seems to be like losing some of her, like what makes her a character. Like her motivation seems to be not what it was. She kind of seems to be acting out of character. Zelly's just always like that. So I guess I'm just gonna go back to reading now and I'll let you know how it goes. Hey, so it's been a few days, but I finished COVAV. I think I told you guys that I finished it. Did I tell you guys that I finished it? I know I haven't done the final conclusion wrap up, so I'm assuming I haven't told you that I finished it yet. It's been a long few days. I move in 2 days. 2 days? Yeah, I move in 2 days, so kind of everything is just all over the place. But I wanted to come and talk to you guys about me finishing this book, wrapping it up. I don't want to film for my bookcase because it's completely empty and that makes me sad. No, hold up real quick. Let me show you my tabs. So if you can see my tabs, there are a lot of this blue color, which is the color for love, means I loved something. And I can tell you right now, because I paid attention while I was tabbing it, the last 50 pages of the book didn't get anything except for love. I'm gonna have a really controversial opinion about this book because I loved it. I loved it. I freaking thought it was amazing. It was so hard hitting. It didn't really have a plot. I'll totally agree with that. The points in the compile that I did for this, what were really low, was character and plot, but everything else was really high for me and I just freaking loved this book. I got the lowest score on compile that you can get for a 4-star book. By the way, I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. I was gonna wait to tell you that, but I just kind of spoiled it. So it got the lowest that it could get, but I fully think it deserved it. Honestly, if I hadn't been doing compile still, I might have rated this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. Definitely not a 5-star read, but I enjoyed it. The characters were annoying, yes. They've been annoying since book 1 though, like nothing's changed. And the plot was pretty non-existent in this book. As I've kind of come to you guys previously, I didn't know what the plot was, and even by the end of it, I can tell you all that like there wasn't one. There wasn't a plot, just kind of stuff happened, and then the end. There were some really hard-hitting moments, and this is not going to be a spoilery review, unfortunately, like my last one was for COVAV, but for COVAV, I just loved the ending. And that was kind of what affected me in the end of the first book, was the ending was so good that it like made up for the first 3/4 of the book kind of being meh. I know a lot of people hate the ending, but I really love when characters have to do horrible atrocities for no payout. Like the horrible atrocities end up being for nothing. And that just makes my day. I love watching people make horrible decisions and then being like, oh my God, I just made a horrible decision. And this book had a lot of those at the end. Also, the epilogue came out of nowhere, wrecked me. I'm not totally sure I understood what I read, but I think I understood what I read. And if I understood what I read, that was gibberish. Then book 3 is going to be super hard-hitting, super important, and book 3 is going to be honestly kind of different than the first 2, but I'm excited about that difference. I would say that this is one of my favorite YA book series. I haven't read a YA fantasy book series in a while that I've rated the sequel just as high as I rated the first one, and I haven't read one in a while that I felt like I did with this one where I just wanted to know what was happening. I know these are older books, so like I'm way late on this bandwagon, but I enjoyed myself immensely and I recommend people checking this out. I did buddy read this with a friend and she had very different reaction than I did. I think she rated book 1 3 stars, which I rated at 4 stars. And I think she rated book 2 2 stars, which I rated 4 stars once again. I'm gonna go watch some reviews online that other people have left about this book because I'm really curious to know why people always talk trash about this one. My only assumption is that the characters are angsty and kind of boring and dumb, but like they were way better than a lot of other YA fantasy I've read, and I felt like in book 1 I really got a feel for their angstiness, and so going into book 2 I was like already expecting it. I don't know. I have another friend though who I talked about this with, that she read this a while ago and she loved book 2 as well. So I think it's just one of those things where everyone's tastes are a little bit different. Also, this book is so pretty. I've officially finished COVAV and I loved it, and I want to thank you all for watching this video. Let me know down below if you have read this book or if you read the first one. I'd love to talk to you about it more. But until next time, I don't remember how my outro goes, but I'll talk to you in the comments. Bye!